If you had such a platform for creatives, we'd have more creative things out there, more creative content, more creative artifacts moving around. We'd have a more interesting looking country because everyone who watches the show would be inspired to be creative.
Yeah, hi everyone, and happy belated New Year. We're already in March, but still this is the first episode of the GZK Podcast in 2021. And yeah, we are back with our new guest, who's going to be Maria Sheba. Atukunda, welcome.
Thank you.
Audio series of GZK Podcast started last year during COVID-19, where we thought of new formats to bring the audience closer to the artists we are working with. So we thought of having this podcast series, and I'm really happy that it's getting more and more professional because we now have our new equipment, our audio equipment. We have our jingle, and we have a new guest. So again, welcome.
Thank you.
This podcast is mainly about talking to artists we are working with, the projects we are currently co-funding. So you are one of our latest small project grant winners.
Yay!
Exactly. And we were really impressed by your project idea because it was a very witty and new approach, like something we haven't had before. And let me introduce you shortly. So you're a Ugandan architect and designer, 27 years old, sorry. And you graduated, and you said that you have a big inspiration from shows like Project Runway, America's Next Topmodel, Face Off, RuPaul's Drag Race, I haven't heard before, and various, let's say, design shows also for the Western societies. And you were also saying that it was not a problem until you noticed that your interior you furnished looked like the Instagram interior from European accounts somehow, and you realize that there's something Ugandan missing. And I think that's also the interesting aspect of your proposal, because you want to get away from the copycat career, but bringing back the Ugandan creatives to control the narrative. And we really like that, and I think I'm really excited about this podcast because I think we're going to talk about more about this. And maybe for now you can also tell us a bit more about yourself. I just gave some few introduction, but feel free to tell us more.
Okay, it's nice to be here. My name is Atukunda Maria Sheba, and I am a graduate architect. I'm not certified yet. I do a couple of things at the moment. I do set design, interior design, I do production design, and project management with an organization called the Collective UG. And I also founded a film community for girls with a friend of mine called Afri, which is the Afridom film community. So I'm tinkering here and there. I'm glad to be here. This is the first grant I have gotten from an organization, and it's very exciting. What else can I say? Should I talk about the idea behind?
Yeah, sure.
Behind the show. Okay. So the idea behind the show is actually very personal. It's a very personal thing. It stemmed from my years in architecture school. So there's this culture in design school in Uganda where our lecturers tell us to do the simple thing and get done with school, which is not a bad thing per se, but what it encouraged was copying designs from around the world just to get by with our degrees. So a lot of the people who graduate from design school in Uganda are not allowed to be creative in school, and as a result, once they get out of school, the likelihood that they will be creative then is even less. So it really bothered me back in school, and it also bothered me because we can't see the results of Ugandan culture in design in Uganda today. Yeah, so I came up with this idea with a friend. The the heart behind it was I was doing interior design for a couple of friends. Okay, I'm not certified. Wait, am I certified? Oh yes, I did a course. I did a course online actually on interior design during COVID. So I was doing an interior for a friend, and she kept sending me pictures, and I was like, okay, cool, we'll pick this, we'll take this, we'll take this, we'll take this. So at the end of the day, we had her house assembled. Her house was, ready. So so after we were done with her house, I went to my Instagram and scrolled through and found that her house looked almost exactly like the houses in very many European and American accounts around the world. It was like she was not, like her essence, her personality was not in her house. I know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
It's like it was someone else's interior multiplied like times 100, because almost everybody had that. And it really bothered me. So I started a campaign to encourage Ugandans to realize that they are not ordinary, they are extraordinary. A lot of people think creativity is for quote-unquote creatives, yet even a homemaker can have a completely different house from her friend. Say a person who loves baking could have an even larger kitchen than a person who loves music. And like there's so many things about us as people that can inform the spaces that surround us, and I feel like that's what's missing in Ugandan culture. And because that is missing, even the artisans on the streets who build the chairs, who build the furniture, who import curtains and curtain fabrics, don't have much inspiration to draw from. So the essence of the show is, can we get Ugandan creatives and emancipate them in such a way that they are free to dream, but dream based on Ugandan culture in particular. So the way the challenges would be I, with a couple of friends of mine, came up with some interesting challenges. I have been to the Karamoja region, and I believe it has such amazing culture, inspiration. So the challenges would be something like getting a bunch of designers, putting them into a car, driving them to Karamoja, abandoning them there. Okay, maybe not abandoning them there. Taking them to Karamoja, dropping them in the community, and getting them to draw inspiration from that culture and come up with like chairs, with tables, with teapots, with clothes, with all sorts of things, but informed by a culture that's predominantly from Uganda. So, well, that needs more cash, but we will get there.
But maybe we can dive
Eventually,
here
yeah.
into your project, into the Ugandan design show, because I also feel that this design show, you can tell us more in detail now, is kind of a competition between 2 or 3 groups, designers, who have to take challenges, and they're only allowed to use, I think, materials they find maybe around them, so they have to become creative, because it's like out of the need, like to become creative then. And I also like this aspect because it also has this adrenaline kick, and for someone who's watching this show, it's going to be a lot of fun, I guess. But yeah, for our listeners who haven't heard much about it yet, maybe you can tell a bit about the concept, like how will this pilot project, because it's a pilot project, I mean, our grant is 2 million Ugandan shillings that will help for setting up a first episode. You can then pitch to media houses to make it bigger. But even this pilot version is going to represent your idea. So maybe you can tell us more about it.
Oh, okay. What can I say? So if you have watched Project Runway, Sina has mentioned this already. If you have watched Project Runway, America's Desktop Model, you'll find that Americans and Europeans celebrate design through TV shows, and they're very exciting. I learned a lot of design from watching TV, coincidentally, because of those shows, and I think it would be beautiful if Ugandans had something like that, but predominantly inspired by Ugandan culture, which is why I came up with the idea of a Ugandan design show. So the essence of it is we'd get teams. I thought of teams because we're trying to design the whole show based off Ugandan culture, and it's hard for a Ugandan to live in isolation. So that the unit of the show would be teams, like groups of 2 or 3 or 4, but not the one, because that's not Ugandan. We're very dependent people. And these groups of people would compete, but compete in a way that they're given challenges based on Ugandan culture at the moment. Ugandan culture, Ugandan politics, Ugandan sports, Ugandan music, Ugandan literature. So basically would pick challenges from Ugandan content, and they would have to find a way to design an item, say for example a couch, but based on what's within Uganda and what's around them. That's it. And there'd be like a cash prize, of course. Cash prize at the end. Money always makes people go crazy.
True.
But that is the honest truth. So would attach a cash prize to it so that there can be more of a need to win. And also we'd like to, for the show for the show to be relevant in Uganda today, it's important that they work with local artisans. That way what they design will find its way into mainstream creation, so that artisans can also get to be more innovative, actually. That is innovative, so that artisans can get to be more innovative, and also so that lay people can have access to what they're designing and can also know that I can afford this thing. You can be creative on a budget. Yeah. So it has to involve not just the creatives, because we don't exist in a bubble, but also local artisans, the carpenters, metal workers, seamstresses, and the lay people. So at the end of the day, the contestants must sell what they have created, because you have to create something that can be used by a lay person, and we'll judge their success of the sale of the item and how many lay people buy into it. Yeah, I feel like that's tense enough, don't you think?
Yeah, but still I would like to know, for example, I imagine the team is maybe downtown. Like where would you like to do the shooting of the challenge then, for example?
I'd like to do the shooting in many places. I thought of Karamoja. I thought of downtown Kampala. I thought of the Uganda Museum. I've thought of the Uganda Wildlife Center, Rock, Kasubi Tombs. So I've been thinking of many cultural sites.
Yeah.
Like the Uganda National Stadium, like things that are predominantly Ugandan.
And then, for example, downtown, the team would have 1 hour to finish the challenge, or would it be like a longer challenge and then they have to go to different places, or how would you set this up?
Oh, they'd have to go to different places. We might leave clues downtown, because downtown can be very, very suffocating.
True. Yeah.
And busy. I wouldn't want anyone to stay there for long, but would leave challenges there, but they'd have to move around Kampala.
Yeah.
And eventually, after they've pieced everything together, sell it. Yeah.
Okay.
There were also, because there's so many ideas, because ideally the series would have many episodes. So there'd be ideas like door-to-door concepts, like going and knocking at a person's door and asking what they want from what they want for their house and designing for that person.
Yeah.
So there are concepts. There's so many concepts around the show, but the concept we are going with for the pilot is a concept from the Uganda Museum, because we have been able to collaborate with the museum. So we'll be picking from Ugandan artifacts, from Ugandan history, and
nice.
that's what they'll be designing for this particular pilot.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also because it's close to GZ.
To our building, yes.
Yeah, to your building. And
you will also use the rooftop for more shooting, definitely. Yeah, okay. I think now people can get a more clear picture about it. I like that. And digging there, what's the status of the pilot right now? So you said you're going to work with the Ugandan Museum, you're going to shoot there. What are you exactly in right now? What are the next steps?
We are preparing posters, because we want to announce for contestants. It might be a pilot, but we are still attaching a cash prize to it.
Nice.
Because we still want the tension in spite of it being a pilot. I don't want it to be make-believe. It has to embody what the rest of the show would look like. So there's a cash prize attached to it of 500,000 Uganda shillings. I'm collaborating with a few friends. So we have equipment ready and locations to shoot vlogs, video logs of the contestants. That's where we are at the moment, actually.
Nice.
So it's the Uganda Museum, equipment, a team, and programming, setting dates for when we shoot, whoever will be accepted.
I think this is one of the small project grants which really requires also a big team, I realize.
Yes.
Because you need, of course, a media team, the ones who are shooting, the people who are participating as designers to do the competition. I think there will also be a jury, right?
We had planned for a jury, but at the end of the day, we decided that since we are designing for lay people, the lay people should judge. So it will be based on popularity, not on social media only, but also the streets. Like if more people find your project relevant than others, then you win.
Wow.
Yeah. So
this sounds like so much fun.
Because usually with a jury, there's politics.
That's true. That's true.
Politics. So let's let the common man decide.
Yeah.
You might have a beautiful design, but a design that doesn't work.
And I remember the title of your idea is also a show for Uganda, like from Ugandans for Ugandans. So it's also nice that the lay people can be part of it and also say like, okay, I like that, or I don't like that, or this makes it special to me somehow. So
by lay people, we mean people who don't have a background in design education.
Maybe that's good that you say it, because I also had a conversation with someone lately and it was like, what are lay people? And then I also explained, but you're right, it's when someone doesn't have a professional background, so comes from another background, but still you have a view or perspective on something, definitely. So nice. And when do you think the episode will be shot? Like around what time?
So it's going to be shot in bits and pieces.
Okay, so a little bit every time.
So we're going to do some shooting in March and April and May as we compile the episode together, and then it should be out by June. Yes.
Yay.
June.
Ready for also our Engalabi Film Festival, which is going to happen in June.
Oh, okay.
In the end of June. So we will then also release your project, and it's kind of maybe introducing the short films for Engalabi, maybe. And really, really interesting. I can't wait to see that. And so you said, it's now a pilot project, and then you also told us you would like to pitch it to media houses to make it bigger and to bring it to TV. And why do you think a show like this is missing in the TV landscape in Uganda?
What can I say? My sister, I have a little sister, she's about 14 years old, and she spends most of her time watching, what's it called? How It's Made. Is it on DSTV? There's How It's Made, there's Tiny Houses, there's, what other design show is it? Is it Einstein Kids?
I don't know, I'm sorry, but...
So there is, I like that the media in countries that are not Uganda actually invest in promoting the creative culture, their creative space. So it's because of such opportunities, let's say in America, that models will thrive. Because of, let's say, America's Next Top Model. There's so many models coming up in America. And shows like, let's say, Project Runway will have fashion designers being inspired to be creative and also being exposed. Okay, people don't like the word exposure, but also being exposed to more opportunities. So I feel like if Ugandans gave their creatives a platform like that, if we had as much of a platform as TV dramas, because Ugandans have a lot of TV dramas. Thank you so much, Uganda. So what about that? If you had such a platform for creatives, we'd have more creative things out there, more creative content, more creative artifacts moving around. We'd have a more interesting looking country, because everyone who watches the show would be inspired to be creative. I can give an example. Because of Pinterest and access to Pinterest, everyone is becoming more interested in DIY, the do-it-yourself culture, and that's the influence of Pinterest. That's Pinterest influence, Pinterest, Instagram. So media has the power to help Ugandan creatives become more creative. And not just the creatives, even the person who thinks they're ordinary. Media has the power to change the narrative and help us express our truest forms in the spaces around us and the objects we own. So yeah, I think it would be an amazing platform. And apart from that, it would be entertainment, of course, because it would be very dramatic. So it's not just creativity, but it's also drama, entertainment, and cash prizes. Well,
bling bling, money is there. So I also think this is really the key to your show, that it's also entertaining and it's drama, and it's like something, when I look at the TV programs, like that is really popular with the Ugandan people, what also I feel. So I think this element is so important to gain their attention. At the same time, it's about, what you just said, like making them aware of their culture, of like how to use their designs, and to get away from this all copying from outside cultures. And amazing. So I also guess it's not that easy to kind of implement this concept. So maybe you also talk a bit about the challenges. What would you say is, what do you see as a challenge right now? And maybe we start from there.
Okay, it's not easy. That's not a lie. I think I'm just lucky that I have friends who do film. So some of them have equipment, some of them have knowledge in film. So I have help. The challenge there is they won't be paid, which is not the ideal, I guess. But we'll have fun doing the project, and yes, they will be fed. Friends are not doing this for exposure. They're doing this because we are friends. Anyway, so there's that. Then also, getting into places is so hard. It's so hard to shoot on a street. The process of getting documents to let you shoot. For example, I'm talking about downtown Kampala, but there are going to be steps to take to actually be able to shoot downtown Kampala. So there's a lot of, I guess it's always been there. Is it bureaucracy?
Yes,
red tape in getting access to public spaces, which makes me wonder if they are public too, to begin with. So those are issues. Those are some of the issues. I managed to get the National Museum because of GZ, because you have collaborated with the museum before. So that was what helped me get the space. Otherwise, I don't know how I'd have convinced them to let us use the museum. What other issues are there? It's mostly monetary and bureaucracy. And what else? The rest is exciting, really.
Yeah.
it's not so grim. It's exciting. I see the challenges, but I'm excited.
I think they're manageable then, because also bureaucracy, you just have to go through it. The good thing is that you really have a team, friends who are willing to support. I think who are also amazed by this idea and who like to push it forward, because it's also pretty, socio-political, and it really touches on an important topic to really foster the more Ugandan-owned creativity and to make it more visible, which I think is really, really great. Wow. I'm really looking forward to the release of the first episode.
Same here. Like, I can't wait to see what that looks like.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Sometimes I ask myself why it's been taking so long that it has not come up earlier somehow, because also social media has been around for a long time. And why do you think that, an idea, the one you are coming with up right now, why hasn't it happened earlier?
I can't speak for the quote-unquote creatives in Uganda or Kampala. Let me see if has anything like this come up before. I think people have had the idea, but they haven't been bold enough to speak up about it. As happens with a lot of creatives. A lot of creatives have a lot of big ideas, but because of the environment we're in, they will not speak up about the ideas because they believe it's too big. I think it's the culture, really. It's Ugandan culture to be quote unquote timid. Timid, that is true. Because after I got the grant, a friend of mine who I hadn't seen in years actually came up to me and said she had an idea like that, and I was like, okay, cool. So we know that someone else has, but it's not enough to have an idea. You have to go go for it. So it's just a timid culture, and also being suffocated in this space. Yeah.
We need more people like you who come up with similar ideas. But I think, yeah, you're bringing it like in, and you're giving the first ground to it, and let's see where it develops. And I think you will also enthusiast more people to maybe join you, so that it can become
something
bigger.
Completely different and more exciting.
Exactly. Let's see about that. Yeah, nice. Thank you. We usually also ask the artists we're interviewing, what would you tell other people if they want to start a small project, or if they have an idea but they're not sure, if it's too big or how even to start. What are the most important things you would say to focus on when you want to implement a project?
Oh, speak about it. Speak about it to everybody and anybody. I have a strong belief that words create. And it's not a very supernatural belief. It's more of if you speak about it, then maybe someone will find it interesting and will help you build towards it. So actually, for example, this project, I spoke about it to a friend a few months before I wrote the proposal, and he helped me fine-tune it. But after a while, someone sent me the poster, the GZ poster for the small grant competition.
For the small project grant.
I was like, what's the worst that could happen if I submitted this proposal to GZ? The worst is they'd say no, but it's still my baby. I'd still have it. So I submitted and didn't expect to win. So when I won, I was like, oh wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. What do we do now? So I think just speak about your ideas. Don't suffocate them. Like, let them out. Someone will be interested. And also, the more you speak about them, the more you think about them. And that means the more you get to filter them in your mind. And somehow, subconsciously, your actions keep building you towards fulfilling your dreams. Because I didn't think I'd ever have a background in film. I did design. What am I doing in film? Because I make films with Afridom community. So I've thought about this for a long while, and somehow I have gained enough film knowledge to manage a production team for such a set. But then also, because of the interior design jobs I've been doing, I have enough knowledge to know what the artisan scene looks like in Uganda, for example, what the design scene looks like in Uganda, and what the shortcomings might be and how they might be mitigated. I'm not saying I have the answer, but I'm excited to see if it might be one of the answers towards mitigating the shortcomings in the creative community. So speak about it, and somehow subconsciously you will find yourself heading in that direction.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like that. I also remember when you were here the first time, and then you were like, I didn't expect to win, like this is crazy. And then we were like, okay, this is the budget, so now let's continue from there with the timeline. And I think you're right, especially when you have an idea and you also talk about it with other people, and you see like this is the frame, so you have to work within it, and it proceeds somehow. It goes somewhere.
Oh yes. Then also don't wait for big money to start.
Yeah.
A lot of people say they will not move until they have, say, 500 million or 600 million or a billion, and I say you can do a lot with little. It doesn't take anything away from you to make the most of what you have. Because if I were another person, I would have turned down the opportunity, because I'd have said, now the budget is too low, I can't work with this. But I'm excited to see what comes out of what I have, and enjoy myself. Myself doing it. So
I also feel that you're enjoying this work, and that's also fun to see, and that's always a great cooperation partner also for us, because we see that it's heading somewhere, and even us, we are very excited. So thank you a lot for all the insights you have been giving us. And also, short note, Afridom is also cooperation partner of Ngalabi Film Festival, and your good friend Afri, she's the social media ambassador for Ngalabi. So everyone who's listening right now, also stay tuned via our social media channels, where we will announce the program very soon. And it's nice to see how everyone is connected somehow. That's always nice. Great. Do you have some last words for us, or is there something you still want to share?
Last words?
We're heading to the end, actually. That's why.
Last words? No. I don't have last words. I hope I've made sense. I hope I have inspired somebody to just get out there, stop being timid, just dive right into the deep end. That's the only way you learn how to swim. Otherwise, I hope I've made sense. Like, I really hope I have made sense.
To me, you made a lot of sense. I really enjoyed the talk.
Okay, cool. That's it.
Okay, thanks then. then, yeah,
Oh
we're
yes,
done.
and sign up. We're going to put a poster out for participants. If you're a designer and you'd like to participate in our pilot episode, please reach out and we'll figure out how to have fun together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you listen to this podcast, you will find some links, some more information in the posts or in the handles. Feel free to contact Maria Sheba and get part of this project.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye.